And now let's just have a quick look at our tenoning machine. So this is the machine that will do the tenons. So the first pair of heads here are the heavy duty jobbies. They take all the meat off and leave the tenon, so the tenon goes through here. Now all the power is isolated, obviously. So the tenon will end up here when it goes through the cutters here. These guys spin that way and this one spins that way. They're offset to account for the rebate and the scribe, so they're offset in this case 8mm. This is the scribing head. Now the scribing heads, I put in a modern one. I'll show the older ones at a different date. Now these are the modern ones with the serrated cutter blocks. So this is the little scribe. That's the only part of the cutter that I wish to use. That they're serrated cutter blocks. Really easy to set up. They're a gift compared to the old way of doing it. They're silent, no noise out of them. They're clinically clean. Now this particular one here, this is a standard 60mm block, and what I had to do, tá inal tóir maith agam. I have a very good engineer, so what I got him to do was, this was flat up here, I got him to recess, to ream out the recess here and drop the bolt here down into the cutter head like it was in the old one. So that was a standard block, and I just got it altered by my fitter. So he's a good guy, I always go to him when I need parts altered. When you're in this game, you always need to be able to improvise and sometimes modify blocks to use for your own ends. Very good quality block. So this is the tenoner. This is what will take the tenon. That's the scribe then. And if people don't understand what I'm talking about, well then just look at this here. This is the style. We've already mortised that. We've seen that on camera. We've already moulded it through the spindle moulder. And if we take the rail, this is the rail and this is the guy that goes through the machine. So the tenon, that's the tenon as it goes through the first part here, and that's the scribe as it goes through the second block here. I also can put on a saw blade on the end there to cut the pieces to length, because I can move the saw blade in and out for a raft to actually do the cut. So when that's done, when the tenon is done and the scribe, that's the tenon is the first cut, and the second cut there is the scribe. And when they go together, now this isn't moulded yet, but when they do go together, they'll go together like so. They'll sit over that, sweet as a nut. There'll be no gap there now, that's just shown just for putting a piece together there. So you see it's clinically clean, flush on both sides, and there's the rebate that'll be on that. There'll be a rebate in this one as well, and that'll take the putty. In this case these are glazed and puttied rather than slipped because they're box sash windows. So that's the traditional way of doing them. That's the scribe tenoner and the scribe there, and that's what we're going to do now. So we'll take a shot of that going through there when the machine is actually running. As I said, I'll always point out, anytime I deal with a machine, no matter what I'm doing to it, the first protocol is safety. Isolate the machine, isolate power sources at all times. Don't even dream of touching a machine unless the power is isolated. So, Anish Gori and Kate Orilla, Slán go fóill, until the next hour we meet, bye for now. Tug the buggy, take it easy.